Okay? Other hand extended and out. Footwork. Front foot, we are forming that classical L shape that you hear so much about. It doesn't have to be, that's just a rough guide. But one foot is stacked in front of the other. We want a comfortable breadth of our foot in terms of our spreading our feet there. You don't want them stuck together, and you don't want them super far apart. This robs me of my lunge. This robs me of my mobility. Okay? Something like that. And that is carved. Now, what they advocate is to make sure that you are on bind. So as we come into position, I want to be on bind straight away. If we're out here, I would like to move in such that I'm in a bind. That's perfect. This is what we're after. Okay? So relax. So go ahead on guard and go into your position. And let's just take a look. Right, yep, that's it. Great. Turn it up. So this,
Not quite 90, but the second time. It's like the second time I've ever used it.
Did you turn back the other way? Now, turning into the cart,
so
so we're going to go along and roll. That's what you want to do on the question line. You turn into the blade. You feel it with the push, make it strong. Yeah.
We blade it
There you go.
yeah, the way you extend the arm
The
is
cart,
like that.
you push your fingers into. So you wouldn't want to be in cart in this orientation. Now it's against.
Not purely horizontal.
Right.
You want to be able to. So I'm going to put my sword on the side, although that's not really what my hand is supposed to be doing. Just so you can.
Okay, relax. So, what's with the arm? Like, can you stay there? What's with the arm? Why are we doing that? A lot of reasons. Like he mentioned, the first reason is I want to pull my chest out from the line of fire a bit. And that's because this work is so tight. The actions are so minuscule that, you know, if Eric does a pass and thrusts at me, and if I can have it right about here, that's perfect for me. You know, that tight. So in other words, he just missed me, right? But just a tad. That's the best. Okay, we'll talk about why in just a second. This is parry riposte. That doesn't make it shit. Okay, and we'll talk about more of that in just a second. But so we're pulling that chest out. If my chest is squared up any thrusts, well, that you can see that's a problem. So it helps pull that shoulder back a little bit and keep me linear more. Yet, I don't want to pull my hips too far that way because, again, that robs me of my mobility. I want my hips a little bit more squared up. I just want my chest back and pulled back just a tad. Okay? Just like so. The other thing about this position in the arm is that I'm going to use it as a counterweight and lever. Okay? So as I thrust at Eric, the hand comes down. And as I'm recovering, it's pulling me back up. So it's here, and then here. Ideally, though, my lunges are not going to be that deep like you'd see in rapier. They're almost half of that. Okay? Because these ranges are so tight, you're not going to need that deep lunge. We still have it in our art, but we don't really want it. It puts us at disadvantage. The first thing we're going to do is a series of 5 thrusts into our partner's gambeson. Here's the target. I want that thrust right where's your nipple? Just above his nipple. Right there, just above the nipple. All of your thrusts must land in the exact same spot. Okay? So here's the drill. You're going to take cart, but now I'm not doing anything.
Okay. So just drop the point?
No, okay. So he's there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to thrust into that position and then recover. And as I recover, I'm coming back to his weapon. Here, and then back to his weapon. Here, back to his weapon. That's 2, 3, weapon, 4. Notice I'm staying near his weapon. 5. Done. And then switch. Okay, go ahead.
You go first.
First?
Go first. Okay.
Let's,
So,
you wanna have
we're
it
gonna want
here.
to hit just because it's
Fine.
fast.
To make this
Yeah,
fast, yeah.
and keep this.
So no, you go lefty, then we'll switch it on, go
I do
right.
have.
Just for the sake of argument, then.
Good. Now, okay, one more thing, you guys.
Let's go.
Did you see the pressure that I had on my blade? It's not enough to place the weapon and have no pressure apparent on the blade. The only thing that's going to be successful as you fence with this is pressure. See the bend? That is a success. That's not. That's not. That's not. That is. That's what you need. Because that'll adjust your range, that'll adjust your timing. You'll also start understanding how the weapon works. And how the weapon works is it's a giant hypodermic needle. And a giant hypodermic needle wants to go into the skin, but here's the thing, and I have a 16th century small sword from the time. What you see on that blade is it's going straight and very stiff, but then at the tip there's a little hook. And that hook corresponds to my cart. So it goes into that skin a little bit, it sinks in. Because it'll direct it and pull it in through the rest of the body. Okay? So that's what you want. Yep, it's vicious as well.
So do it again. Use your sword, bro. Let's do it nice with your sword. There you go.
Small sword. Is there
This is the coordination. Good time will come.
Are you trying to gather when you're thrusting, or how do you do it?
Or we're in the gear.
Oh, really? If we were right?
Do you want to switch to the
You
right?
would be trying to stab me. So, I would come,
Most of all, fly.
okay, I would stab her. Just,
Okay, relax. You want to keep it up. You know, if you want to pick up small sword practice, this is your first drill. This is your first drill. Now, so Eric on guard. All right. So now if you notice, I didn't have Eric, or I didn't stay in the bind with Eric, right? I came off of his weapon. I stayed near it, but I didn't create a bind here. Now the next drill is called thrust from cart with opposition. Opposition is what he calls a bind, basically, okay? So now what's going to happen is, this is called an acorn, your pommel basically. It's called an acorn, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate that acorn up over my left eye socket. So it's going to be kind of a scooping motion, but I want this to be just outside of my eye socket in this context as I complete this act. So we're here, and I'm coming here, and then I'm staying on his weapon the whole time. The opposition is maintained. So again, I'm here, there. Notice how this is just outside my eye, and here. In other words, I don't want this, do I?
Yeah.
It's problematic. Okay, I need a little scooping motion. Oh. Notice how it was over here. It's not good. That's fucked, right? I want it here. Okay, right here. There we go. Boom. That's a success. 5 of those.
Just we were talking about.
No.
Okay.
Get your licks in.
Seems like it.
Start from the same position.
alright, so you see how you're steering with the wrist? You don't want to scoop with the whole arm. So make sure you, it's very similar, and also very different. Right now, you're just here with the handle.
Keep going, everyone's distracted.
Structure behind the arm.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
You do too much.
Okay, hold. Okay, one other thing, I don't want to like lead you astray here, but one thing too to work on is when I'm doing this, I'm doing it a very slow and extended process to kind of show you each step. All right? That's fine when you first start this process, but really what you're trying to do is get back and notice, you see my lunge and how I'm recovering? It's a very controlled, measured, and athletic process. The getting back is the important part. The thrust may or may not work, but I want to get back and stay on his weapon as quickly as I can. So don't linger too much as you train in this position. You're creating a scar. Okay? Go ahead. Keep up. Finish it up.
Two more.
Be accurate. Same point.
Sure.
Drop the other arm.
Use it today again.
Freaking guard on.
Stop down.
Transfer my pills here.
There you go. And then pick up. There you go. And then cover quickly. Get snapping and engaging.
Let's try it one more time.
So when you run,
There you go.
I didn't think of collecting this in my show.
Think about the arm.
yeah.
Try to use it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listed too much.
One more time.
There you go. That's it.
That was high.
Nice. Cool.
Extend, extend, extend. There you go.
Right.
Nice.
Now you're pushing my sword up.
Yeah,
Interesting concept.
Okay, relax.
Whatever.
Obviously, this is just an introduction, and you'll need to work to keep these things going, right, with practice. But we're just going to move on because I want to keep going. And you know, I think today, what we'll do is I'll show you tiers, but then the rest of the day, if you don't have that much time, the rest of the day we're going to work just through cart. Okay? So let's talk about tiers quick. So Eric and I first met in cart, okay? But now I'm going to switch to tiers. And notice how I'm coming underneath his blade to move my edges. And that movement is a V shape, not a U, okay, but V. And as I've moved into these different positions using a V, it's harder for him to assess kind of what edge I'm employing if it's a simple action. Additionally, as I go from one to the other and then move in, he has less time to react to that versus you. We use you for parrying in the circle parry, which we'll discuss in a minute. But I'm here in cart, I go down just below his shell, right about here, and sometimes that's an attack itself. But just below here, and then back up here into tiers. Now here's the thrust from tiers, and first we'll do it just with opposition. So I'm here in cart, I drop down, I come back, I'm now tiers. And as I thrust from tiers, I'm looking at that same target, just above his nipple. Okay? And as I thrust in opposition, now the acorn is going to come up to the other eye, just to the outside of the other eye. So I'm here, boop, and then I'm back. Remaining on the vine, remaining in opposition. Okay? So the whole thing will look like this. You start in cart. This will give you reps from transitioning. So I'm here in cart, drop down, tiers, thrust, recover, back to cart. And in this tradition, the specificity with which they're doing these things is very proscribed. So that's the other thing I like about this, even though it's 16th century in some cases, sometimes 17th century, the material is very specific about how it is they're doing what they do, which sheds light on a lot of the early materials that they left out. Why they leave it out? Well, they're just not as good at writing descriptive manuals yet. Right? So again, we're here in cart, drop down tiers, thrust in opposition, recover. Not good, because I hit him in the bib, and not where I want to. Right? Be that specific.
And just to make clear for everybody, cart, it's the underhand grip, like I just mentioned. As you come under, you're flipping it over, so now your grip is opposite.
Thank you. That's correct. Yep. Cart is nails up, tierce is nails down. Now here's the thing though, when I'm saying nails up and down, that's kind of a misnomer, because it's almost like at 45 degrees. If you try to go all the way, it's not useful. It's not practical. So it's just at 45 degrees.
And that's why you're also saying it's a V as opposed to a U, because if you were keeping the same grip, it's kind of more like that U,
Yes.
but the V is like you're coming down, then you're turning as you come back up.
Yeah, very good. Good. Go ahead. 5. Thrust from cart into tiers with opposition.
Yeah.
Not bad. Work on. When you disengage,
They were kind of still looking at disengage at the
sword.
cover.
What's different from you?
Arm movement.
Okay, relax. One thing I am seeing a little bit of you guys do that you want to stop is this, right? When I'm here, I simply drop the point, come under, and come back. Don't remove the sword to do it. Because as I'm doing that, I'm open. Okay? My sword, I want my sword in front of me pretty much the whole time. Notice here, he's missing me. Right? I know it looks like he's not, but you know what I mean? So it's just that, it's just that little.
Just a wrist movement on arm.
Yep. And actually, what's driving this is the fingers, really. There's a lot of finger motion. You know, in the modern French foil, they have the French grip. If you see that, which is like a knuckleball thing, that's because that's how much finger play should be involved here. It's much more finger than anything else. Okay? Keep it up. Good work.
Are you rolling your hand both in?
I'll do 2 more.
So it's not, you're not cocking the left.
No. Correct.
It's me.
Remember, stay in opposition on your recovery. That's a very important piece. Stay in opposition on your recovery.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So expose what makes the
Stay in opposition on the recovery. Good.
You don't need that much. You don't need that much.
Hand.
I was like a bit too high. Yeah, yeah.
Good. All right, relax.
Just frozen in space here. Yeah. It's very mechanical too.
Okay, very good. So now, so what have we covered so far? Well, we covered just simply, okay, what do we do? Thrust from cart with no opposition. Thrust from cart with opposition. From cart to tiers with opposition. Okay? So now what's going to happen is Eric is going to do those thrusts. Eric is going to do those thrusts to me, and now I'm going to work on parrying. Alright, so we're here. He's going to thrust in cart with opposition. Right, go ahead and move on. Oops, activate the arm. There we go. 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Do 5 more.
5 same one.
5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So, what did I do? Well, I'm just remaining on the bind and simply rolling it over, so applying more edge. Not activating my arm. Okay? And that's the mistake. When I activate my arm, what am I opening for him?
Your body.
I'm fucked. Right? So, you don't, I'm sorry if I swear a lot. That is what it is. Okay? So I don't do this. I stay on the bind and control it by applying more edge. And I want it as tight and close as I can. Because here's the next piece. As he recovers, that's my attack. Okay? So every time he attacks and I make a cover, and he recovers, there I am.